Welcome back to the channel, guys. I have another trailer problem. This time it's the actual light boards. Let me show you. Now, the original light board, which is at the back there, you can see it went over the length of my driveway. So that causes a bit of a problem that I have to take the light board off every time I've moved the boat back into place. It also makes it a little bit of a hazard for when we are driving along. I'm a bit worried about those lights being so wide that on a narrow B road I could get them knocked off by lorries and cars and everything else. So I had to change that, and I've got the smaller light board that you've just seen there. Now this one is, as you can see, is a couple of centimeters shorter on each side, but the problem doesn't end there. When you'h got a light board like this and you get to the marina, you get to the slipway, whether it's a public slipway or a slipway in a marina, you've still got to take the light board off to dunk the boat in the water. Now, normally you can lay that the board. Some people will lay it on the trailer and just be happy with that. Now, I'm okay doing that in a marina setting, but if I was in a public car park next to a public slipway, I might be a bit more reluctant to sort of leave all my stuff like just laying around, because it could be half-inch quite quickly. So I've got an idea. Because it is so awkward to put in the car, we have to open up the boot, we have to put the seats down, we have to feed it through, and even with this smaller one, it's still having to rest on the pocket in between the two seats at the front, which is not the best. So I've got a plan. I'm going to get this new board, which I've just paid, I think it was about £80 for this size one, and it came from Extreme Trailers because it's got the extra little plug-in bits that are needed for my actual trailer. What I'm going to do is take this nice £80 board and cut it in half, and then the plan is to put some hinges that can be locked into place, and then I can fold it away in the boot quite easily. So that is the plan. Is it actually going to work? Let's go and find out.
Alright, first things first. I'm measuring the light board to find the exact middle. This is super important because I want to draw a precise cut line. That way when I start cutting, I know exactly where I'm going and can make sure that it's a nice clean split. Oh, but hold on a sec. I've got to feed Kobe. It's absolutely super hot here, and she's looking like a very thirsty cat, just giving me those big pleading eyes. There we go. A full bowl of milk. Now that is one happy furball ready for a nap. Now back to business. It's time to cut the light board. This part needs a lot of focus because there are cables hidden inside this light board, and I absolutely cannot nick them. If I accidentally cut those wires, it would be a major headache to fix. So I'm going to be really careful. I'll start by making a gentle cut from one side and not going too deep, and then I'll just keep cutting slowly until I can actually feel the wires against the blade. It's a subtle sensation, but I know when I feel it. Once I hit that point, I'll stop, flip the board around, and then start cutting from the other side. Again, I'll go slowly and make sure until I can feel those cables. And boom, just like that, the light board is in two separate halves. Not bad.
So luckily there is enough space in between these two for them to fold quite nicely and for it to work how I want it to work. So the next thing is I've bought these little brackets from a UK supplier, and they've got a little lock handle. So you can twist it up tight, and then twist it up tight, then it won't move, won't bend. And then just you can undo them quickly, and then it'll be able to fold. So that is what we're going to use, and now I just need to fix them in the right place on the actual board. So let's get on with that.
Okay, let's get these brackets in the right spot. Now I need to mark exactly where to drill, making sure it's as accurate as possible. Then it's time to drill those holes. I want them a bit smaller than the screws, just so that the screws really bite in there. After that, it's simply a matter of screwing in one side of the bracket onto the light board. Now for the second bracket. I carefully position it and mark the holes, making sure everything lines up nicely. I really want this fold to be as accurate as possible, so I'm taking my time to align everything and hope it'll pay off. Once the holes are marked, I'll drill the pilot holes for the screws. And then it's just a matter of screwing the other side onto the bracket. Just the last two screws to go. Let's give it a fold test to confirm that it all works properly. Not bad. I'd say I'm pretty happy with that and how it's turned out. For those cables at the end, I'll probably tape them up with some fabric tape.
Now, as you can see, I have put the two hinges on here. It folds up nicely into two halves. And you can just see what I'm going to have to do something with the cables here, but not sure what I'm going to do with the ends yet. When you fold it out, all you got to do is tighten these up like that, and then that stays in place. And then we put the light board on. Now, as you can see, it's sort of working pretty well. It's holding it straight there, even with the wobble. I can sort of wobble it and put it under tension. It does flex a little bit, but this is where the last bit will come in. I'm going to drill two holes in here so the number plate is constantly fixed on the right hand side, and then have a single nut on the other side as a wing nut, just so that I can tighten that up. So I have two fixed nuts here and a wing nut here, and that will just secure everything up nice. So when it's actually folded, the number plate will actually stick out a bit like that. And then it will just have the wing nut on the other side. It's a lot shorter than it was before, and I think I can get that in the boot of the car. Let's go and try it. Okay, let's put that in the boot. That fits absolutely amazingly. I'm quite happy with that little project. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Bye bye.